As you stand in your mountain, the in-breath expands into the sides of your ribs. The out-breath softens the belly. We are steady, strong as a mountain, but there's ease with each breath. I would love you to begin to deepen your breathing a little bit further. Still stay with the breath expanding into the sides of your ribs as you breathe in. And still softening the belly when you're breathing out, but breathing more fully, more deeply. And if you like now, you can add Ujjayi technique if that feels right for you. I would also ask you or invite you to open the eyes. And while you keep the breath flowing, beginning to rock a little bit forward and back over the feet, starting to move the mountain, relaxing the arms along the sides of the body. And maybe even beginning to gently lift through the heels and through the toes as you're rocking forward and backwards. And starting to move the arms now as well. Bringing the arms forward and back, very gently at first, so the shoulders are still relaxed. Moving forward as the heels might be lifting and the arms moving backwards as the toes might come off the floor. And just keep going like this. And if that feels right for your shoulders, increasing the movement of the arms. So you're breathing in to lift and you're breathing out to swing them back. And you might still stay with the lift of the heels and the lift of the toes. And this movement might become as big as is possible for you this morning. It might or it might stay a bit smaller. Keep swinging. And then as you stop the swinging after your next out breath, just allowing the arms to swing out, widening your stance a little bit. And begin to move. Begin to draw circles with the hips and maybe flow the arms in a few circles as well. A movement as if you could be swimming. Let's change the direction. And if you were swinging or swimming with your arms, try and reverse that direction as well. And then you can choose to keep your wider stance. As you take a deep breath in, stretch up and maybe even backwards. And when you're breathing out, keep the knees soft, fold over your thighs and come down into a forward bend. And as you're bending forward, a very familiar movement for you. The waterfall movement as we're moving through the spine. On the inhalation, lengthen forward into your half lift, hands resting against your legs. And when you're breathing out, soften. Even the head is relaxed. Keep this flowing, inhaling to the edge of your waterfall and breathing out to let the water fall. Stay with that, finding your own pace, your breath that guides you through the movement. Inhaling as you lengthen the spine and exhaling then to soften. Keep flowing like this for 3 more breaths. Think about the length in the spine on your inhalation and let all of that soften down on your exhalation. And once you've completed, just staying in this forward bend, maybe your feet are returning to about hip distance for a solid stance into the ground. Now, as you breathe in, swing your arms forward, lifting up tall into standing. Let's bring out the line within us. Stick the tongue out, swing it forward, make a sound. We'll do that a few times. Breathe in, bend your knees, push off the floor, extend the front body into your lion breath. 3 more if you like. Inhaling, open, swing it through. 2 more. And we will finish this movement in a standing position. And as you breathe in, rising back into it. Soften your shoulders down. If you need your arms lower, please have them lower. Otherwise, Charlie's Angel's Mudra, index fingers extended, the others interlaced. We go into side bending. As you next breathe out, bend a little bit to your right, exploring the movement first. Inhale, center. Exhaling, bending to your left. And I invite you to own this movement too, as you begin to sway in alignment with your breathing. And there might be another round in it before you decide you would like to stay on one side. I'll leave that up to you too. If you don't want to stay today, just keep swaying side to side. And of course, if you stayed on one side, then stay on the other side too. Lifting yourself up tall, reaching into the open. Allow another lion to swing forward and stay there. As you take your next breath in, come to the edge of your waterfall, lengthening your spine forward. And when you're breathing out, let's step the right foot back into a lunge. Lower the knee down onto the mat and untuck your toes. Beginning to just lean the hips a little bit forward. Finding some opening into the hips. Your choice to stay on your knees or tuck the toes under and lift the knee off the floor. And if you choose that, then encouraging the heel out and backwards. Placing your hands down onto the mat. Bring your knee back down to the floor. Step the other knee back as well as you're finding an all-4 stance. And on the out breath, reaching your hips back, but keep your hands glued down onto the floor. As you inhale, finding all 4s again. Come to stand on the hands, on the knees. On your next breath in, now lift your right leg back, pointing out through the toes. Reaching now your left arm forward. And on the next out breath, bring your elbow and knee together underneath. On your in breath, extend the body. On the out breath, bring elbow and knee together underneath. Repeat that. Breathe in as you lengthen. Breathe out to curl under. Have 2 more of the same movement. And holding yourself curled under. And you might even take a hold of the knee and draw the nose up towards the knee. Then release hand and knee down. If you like to stay here, please do. Otherwise, tuck your toes under, lift your knees off the ground and find a downward facing dog. As you next inhale, lifting the right leg up. On the out breath, bring the foot between the hands and lower the back knee. Untuck the toes. moving your hips gently towards the front of the mat. In the low lunge, as you tuck the toes back under of your back foot or stay with your knee on the mat, your options. If you do lift the knee off the floor, extend back out into the heel of the foot. Then stepping the foot to the front of the mat. Take a breath in as you find a half lift. A breath out just to fold. I would ask you to swing the arms forward as you're breathing and push off the floor as we did with the lion. Stick the tongue out as you fold. On your in-breath, return to your half lift position, long spine. On the exhale, stepping your left foot back into a lunge. Soften into your back knee. If you prefer the knee on the floor, that's fine. Push the floor away as you're curling up into a high arm position as you inhale. Settle into your lunge. Find softness in the back knee and in the shoulder joints. It's your choice how deep you're taking this lion. As you take a breath in to open the front of the body. Breath out, tongue out. Swing it forward. We'll only do 2 more. Take a lift as you inhale and open the front body. Swing it forward. 1 more. Breathing in. Swing it forward. Stay there. Release your hands down onto the mat. Bring the knee back to the floor. Step the other knee back. Our breath, hips moving to the heels. Keep the hands again glued to the floor. As you take your next breath in, returning onto the hands and the knees. Now lifting the left leg back as you take a breath in. As you find your stability, the right arm extends forward. Breathing in. On your out breath, bring elbow and knee together underneath the body. Inhaling to stretch out. Exhale, draw elbow and knee together. Inhaling, extend. Exhale and curling. Repeating for 2 more. And once you've completed the last one, you might choose to take your hand to your knee and really tuck the nose in towards the knee. Then release back onto hands and knees, and your choice is to remain here or to tuck the toes under and extend your hips up for a downward facing dog. As you come to your next in-breath, lifting your left leg up and back. And on your out-breath, bringing the foot forward in between the hands. There is the choice again of bringing the knee down or bending it. Curl yourself up as you use the floor underneath you. And breathe in to lift your arms. Settle into your chosen lunge. If the knee's off the floor, have it in a light bend. 3 rounds of lion breath. As you inhale, extend into the front body, swing forward, tongue out. Inhaling, lift again. 1 more, breathe in, stay low. Releasing the hands down onto the mat, stepping the foot forward. Take the breath in as you're finding your half lift position. As you breathe out, fold. Keep the knees soft. Push into the mat. Take a breath in. Reach the arms up all the way. Again, come into your lion as you breathe out. Inhaling, come to a half lift position. Lengthen the spine. We'll step the right foot back once more. Now, I will invite you to Either bring the knee down or leave it as is and open the arms out into flight mode. So rather than pulling them up towards shoulder height, keep them a little bit back. Encourage into the back heel if the knees off the floor. Leave the palms of the hands facing down and spread out through the 10 fingers, allowing your neck to align with the rest of your spine. So you're building a line if the knees off the ground, from the crown of the head back into the heel of your right foot. And if you feel you've got the balance, maybe challenge yourself and close the eyes. An opportunity for you to feel the forces that we're playing with within our own body. Let's release the hands down onto the mat. Let's lower the knee down onto the floor. Untuck the toes. I will invite you to push into the floor again as you're curling yourself up. To take a deep breath and lift the arms while you're kneeling. Keeping your left arm extended. Let the right arm circle back. Open your body out towards the side. You can either reach with your right hand fingers towards the heel if that's in your range of movement, or place the hand gently into your lower back. Keep the body moving slightly sideways, but begin to lift through the chest. Chin can be tucked in, or you could start to lift the chin up for a half camel pose. Stay here and breathe. To release this half camel, bring your hips back to center, roll your arm and shoulder in, and start to bring the hands to either side of your front foot. Slide the foot back and bring your hips back to your heels. As you take your next breath in, lifting up onto hands and knees once more. Now your choice will be to lean forward to kneeling plank or to lift up into full plank. We'll pause within the plank choice for breath. And as you're exhaling, keep your elbows by your sides and begin to lower down onto the mat. Untuck the toes, place the forehead down onto the floor. Now, if your knees aren't quite up for it, please do take good care of them. I will do so with my left one too. If you can, bending with the right knee. Take a reach back for the right foot. And maybe taking this foot out towards the outside of the hip. Now, you can turn the head as I just did, but that's more to see you. Otherwise, the heel is going down towards the floor, right by the side of the hip. If you feel comfortable with it, you can turn the hand, point the fingers forward over your toes, and go a bit deeper. Now, there's a likelihood that the hips are taking off as they just did for me. Try and keep the hips grounded as you draw the foot down by the side of the hip. If your knee is feeling achy, see if you can find an angle where this works, or simply bend the knee and you will get some type of extension into the top of the thigh. Half frog variation. Now, let's release this side and change sides as you reach for the left foot. Now, my variation here will be the heel towards the buttocks, but this is my challenged knee. If your knee is perfectly fine, take it out to the side, the foot that is, and then draw the heel down by the side of the hip on the left-hand side.
Same here. If you feel this is quite all right for you, you might turn your fingers forward over your toes and keep drawing down. A slight reminder of keeping your hips grounded. Stay with that few more breaths, exploring the sensations while you're here. And then releasing this leg too. Let's bring the hands down by the sides. Extend actively into the legs, tops of the feet into the floor. Take a breath in. Lift your head and heart for a cobra. Breathe out and release that. Inhale as you come onto your knees. And with the exhalation, sitting back towards the heels. If you like, you can now come to all fours and stay there or transition into downward facing dog. Finding your stands within your down dog. As you next inhale, lift your right leg up. On your out breath, bring your nose to your knee. We'll do that twice more. Inhale, extend the leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to the nose. Once more as you inhale to extend. On the out breath, bring the knee to the nose. Pause it there. Step the foot forward. Come to your fingertips as you lengthen the spine. On the out breath, standing forward bend. Inhale as you rise to the edge of your waterfall, half lift. Exhaling to fold. Again, use the floor as you breathe and push into the ground. Rise to stand, open the front of the body. A big lion to fold. Inhaling as you return to your half lift. And this time stepping your left foot back into a lunge. Please feel free to lower the knee again to the ground if that was your choice on the other side or is needed here. Otherwise, start to lift the torso, flying the arms out towards the sides. Keep them away from the body, but not quite to the level of your shoulders. Palms of the hands will be facing down. Now, if your knees off the floor, encourage the heel backwards. Thinking of the heel being the lowest point of a straight line that reaches up right towards the crown of the head, so that even the neck is in play here. While you're reaching into the arms, spread out through the fingers and really get into fierce energy of flying. And if you reach that point, you might close the eyes. Stay here, breathe. Noticing all these muscles that are working with you. We will release this pose as you bring your hands down and your knee. You might untuck your toes. Lifting your body up as you take a breath in to reach your arms up. We're back in our kneeling lunge. Hip is over the knee. Now as you next breathe out, let your left arm circle back and your body open to the side. Two options, fingertips to the heel or palm of the left hand into the lower back. Keep your body lightly open to the side. And start to lift through the sternum. The chin can stay tucked in if you prefer. Or you might lift the chin and guide your gaze upwards if your neck allows you to. Again, we're playing around with our strength, with our stability. As you might notice, it could be slight balancing movements while we're holding here. Breathing deeply into the heart space. And when we're releasing, roll inwards. Let your arm and shoulder curl in and bring the hands down either side of the foot. Stretching your hips back into an extended child's pose. On your breath in, lifting up onto the knees, kneeling plank or toes tucking under for a full plank. Play around with the strength you're lifting out between your shoulder blades as you hold here for another breath. And then keep your elbows by your side on your out breath, lower down onto the front of your body. Untuck the toes. So invitation is now for the full posture as you bring your arms alongside the body. Chin or forehead is resting onto the mat, and we'll bend both knees. Now, if you can reach your feet, you might just stay here, bring the heels to the buttocks, and encourage your hips down to stay on the floor. If it's possible, you will bring your feet out a bit wider, and you will pull the feet down by the sides of the hip. Again, please be mindful with any issues around your knees, around your hips, and keep the hips on the floor as you're moving closer into the frog. If you feel confident, again, turn the hands so the fingers are facing over the toes. Stay with that, encouraging the hips towards the floor. 3 more breaths if you can. When you have completed those, you might keep the feet in the hands and come into a back bend. If you don't want to go into bow pose, you can extend the legs and return to the cobra. Otherwise, pushing the feet into the hands as you're lifting. And you might stay here for a few breaths. Please mind that your knees aren't going out to the sides. Keep them maximum hip distance apart. Last breath there. And then release. Release as you place your hands down by your sides. Inhale, lift. Either stay on all fours or make your way back into downward facing dog. Allowing yourself to find a stance, to breathe in and out. And on the next inhalation, lifting your left leg up. On your out breath, bring your knee to your nose. On your in breath, extend for 3-legged dog. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose. Inhale, extend again. This time, keep your knee at your nose and aim to bring the foot between the hands. Lift up onto your fingertips, inhale. And on your exhalation, come to standing forward bend. Let's push down into the floor as you inhale for your half lift. Exhaling to fold. Push even more into the floor. Swing your arms up. Take a breath in as you're rising. And then have a sigh out and just drop the arms. Find yourself walking again, just gently over your mat. A little bit forward, a little bit backwards. Maybe there's a hip swing. Notice how you're feeling within your gait of walking. And then placing your feet back down into mountain pose when you're ready. No need to rush. Getting to your front of the mat. Turning the palms forward. Relaxing the shoulders. And steadying the gaze at first. Maybe there's that little adjustment that you still need to really feel solidly grounded through the soles of your feet. If you feel it's appropriate, you can close the eyes. You might find that your heart rate is a little bit up, that the breath is a bit uneven. I invite you to notice all of this.
And as you breathe in, maybe your jaw is with you, expanding into the sides of your ribs. And when you're breathing out, soften the belly. Stay with this breath again as you inhale to expand into the sides of the ribs. And softening the belly on the out breath. Just stay with this for another 3 breaths, nothing else to do quite yet. When you have completed these breaths, you will open the eyes again. And as you take your next inhalation, lifting the arms and opening the front of the body. On your next out breath, come into chair pose. Bring the shoulders back into their comfortable sockets. Take a breath in. Touch the hands. And when you're breathing out, now twisting towards the right. It's okay to float this twist as you keep the palms touching, but you might place the elbow to the outside of the knee. As you're holding here, finding your twist, keeping the palms together and shifting the weight onto the right foot. Let's peel the left foot off the floor if you like. Cross the foot behind and place the heel onto the floor. Unfold your twist. As you take a breath in, lifting the arms again. As you're breathing out, let's open the arms out wide. As you inhale, lift the right knee. As you exhale, extend the leg forward. Take a breath in to lift. Place your ankle on top of the thigh and return to your chair, just on one leg maybe. On your next in-breath, lifting arms and knee again. Step the foot down onto the front of the mat. Bring your hands to your heart and return into your mountain pose, extending the arms back out towards the sides. Deep breath in to expand into the sides of the ribs. Out breath to soften the belly. As you next inhale, lift the arms again, expand into your front. Out breath, chair pose, Utkarasana. Again, find comfort in the shoulders, choosing the height and the positioning of arms and hands. Inhale again. And as you breathe out, twisting your chair towards the left. You can float your arms, keeping palms touching, or you can place the elbow to the outside of the knee, allowing knees to stay parallel as you're holding your twist. If you like to play, shift the weight onto the left foot and begin to peel the right foot off the floor. You can always tap down. Changing the foot behind and across. As you lower the heel to the floor, take a deep breath in and lift and expand the front of your body. And as you're breathing out, opening the arms out to shoulder height. As you breathe in, lifting your left knee. Flex the foot. On the out breath, extend the leg forward. Breath in to bend the knee again. Place the ankle on top of the thigh and return to a chair pose on one leg this time, holding. Again, take good care of your shoulders. There's no point in pulling on the upper back as you balance. On your next in-breath, lift your arms, your knee. Step the feet down back to the front of the mat. Hands coming to the heart space and releasing the arms back out towards the sides. Deep breath in as you're expanding into the sides of your ribs. On your out breath, soften the belly. Stay with this breath and awareness for 2 more. And after that, inhale, lift the arms again, expand through the front. And as you're breathing out, circle the arms behind, interlace your hands. While you breathe in, lift the arms away from the body and open your front. And I would love you to hold that if possible and breathe out to fold all the way forward, arms lifting away from your back. If that's too much for the shoulders, you can always lower the arms down. Let's swing the arms forward into a chair as you inhale. Exhale, sit into the chair. Breathing in. On your out breath, twisting your chair again to the right hand side. Hold it. Lifting your left foot again off the ground. Step the foot back, lower the knee to the mat. See if you can deepen the twist again. You can always use your hands in between if you need to. If you're feeling quite confident here within this twist, you might extend the twist further, keeping toes tucked under and lifting the knee back off the ground and finding your balance there. If this is too much, you could place one hand down onto the floor and you might still be able to extend. Just notice where you're at the moment. Let's release. Let's release the knees back down, untuck the toes. Bring the hands down either side of the front foot and peel it off the floor. Sliding the heel a little bit out. As we lean our nose towards the knee for half Hanuman. So half splits. Trying to support yourself with your arms. Drawing your toes up towards the knee and lowering the nose down towards the knee. One last breath here like that. Then leaning forward as you lower the foot back down onto the floor. I will ask you now to place your left hand down firmly. If you like, you can simply extend the right arm back for a twist. If you would like to go deeper and your back knee is happy, lifting the foot off the floor, catch it and push it into your hand as you're deepening your twist. This is just an option. Remember, knee down is fine enough. Arm reaching back into a twist. Then release. Releasing your hand back down as you slide the front foot to the opposite wrist. Place the knee down behind the same side and approach a half pigeon pose. As you come to your fingertips, opening your front. And as you're breathing out, carefully making your way down. I do know that some of you have real bad knee hip issues. You can always roll onto your back and do the posture from here
as you're bringing your leg in towards the body without the pressure on the joints. I invite you, in whichever position you've taken on, to stop. To breathe back into the sides of your ribs and feel the expansion, and to soften into the belly as you're breathing out. Stay with that for a few more breaths. As we slowly make our way out of the pose, begin to come back onto your hands. You might choose to tuck the toes under behind you, lifting up and stepping back into a walking downward facing dog. It's absolutely your choice now. If you don't want to move again forward in a stronger way, to just keep on walking. If you feel you would like to do that little bit more, take a breath in and extend the right leg up and back. And as you're breathing out, bring your knee into your nose and hold here. Keep the lift up into the upper back, the nose towards the knee. Lift your foot up towards your body. Stay on the toes of the back foot. And then step it forward. Let's join in together for a half lift on the next in-breath. And a forward bend on the next out-breath. As you breathe in, push into the floor. Rise up tall, extend the front of the body, and let the arms release and swing out as you're breathing out. Soften yourself, find a stance, maybe open the hands again. Deep breath in, soften your belly as you're exhaling. Only one more breath like this. And as you take your next inhalation, extend the body again and the breath out as you enter chair pose. Inhaling there, twist as you breathe out to your left. Same here, you can float or you can hold with the knee and the elbow meeting, shifting the weight onto the left. As you're peeling the right foot off the floor, stepping it back and bringing the knee down. You can always use your hands here if that's a bit wobbly. Trying once the knee is down to deepen the sensation of twisting. Noticing how you're feeling within this twist. If this is where you're at today, keep the knee down or tuck the toes back under and lift the knee again. Aiming for a deeper twist. Too much, one hand could be down as you're opening. Let's release. Let's bring the hands and the knee back down, peeling the front foot off the floor and sliding the heel a bit forward. Untuck your back toes, lower your nose towards the knees, support with hands or fists by your sides, relax the shoulders and draw your toes up towards your knee for half Hanuman. We're in a kneeling lunge, the toes are pulling back and we're aiming for space in the back of the left leg. One more breath here. And then as you come forward and land again on your toes, placing your right hand down firmly. Now you can choose to just reach your left arm back and return into a kneeling twist. If your back knee is happy,
Lift the foot off the floor and take it into the left hand. Now, I'm not demonstrating on this side. You will have to follow the memory or my words. We're holding here, hips moving forward. Maybe the foot is pushing into the hand. And as you carefully release the foot, bring the hand down by the side of the foot. Slide your left foot to the right wrist and place your knee down behind the same side wrist. Again, there's the option of rolling this onto your back if you need the weight of your joints. Otherwise, come onto your fingertips and open the front as you breathe in. And then releasing forward as you're breathing out, finding and settling into your half pigeon. Just as a little reminder for those that are on the back, you can bring your leg in without the pressure and still get the benefits of the pose. While you take a pause within this pose, breathe again into the sides of your ribs on the in-breath and soften the belly on your out-breath. Last breath in the half pigeon. Before you're stepping your hands back down onto the mat, your choice is to stay on the knees or to step back into walking downward facing dog. Again, I will leave your choice here, whichever level you're working with today and on this side, to keep walking forward or to breathe in and lift the left leg. And on the out breath, bring your knee to your nose and hold it here. Lift up through the space between the shoulder blades, tuck the nose into the knee, push forward on the back toes, hold. And then step the foot forward. As you inhale, we'll all find a half lift. And when breathing out, gently sitting down at the front of the mat. I will ask you to touch the soles of the feet together. See how we all expect certain things to happen. We expect to stand back at the front and it's not happening quite yet. So once the soles of the feet are together, let's place the hands down just underneath the legs, pointing your fingers forward. Take a breath in. And as you're breathing out, just slide the arms under a little bit more. Maybe the palms of the hands are turning upwards as you lower your nose. Inviting even more space into the hips. Focusing on the breath, creating space within the sides of your ribs. And as you're breathing out to soften the belly, you might get that little bit further into the stretch too. Now, if you're quite content here, otherwise you might take a hold of your feet or your ankles. If you're quite content here, touching index and thumbs together, walking your feet in towards you as you bring the heels together, lifting the feet off the floor for a lotus. The toes will be pointing outwards. The arms might be here underneath. And we're balancing ideally in the space between the sit bones. Now, if you're feeling quite happy there, I will turn myself sideways, coming back into the pose. Can you take a hold of the outer edges of your feet, keeping the arms underneath as they are? And only if your back is all right with that, tuck the chin in and roll down onto your back.
And you might lift the legs up straight into a happy baby pose. If this is too far for you, you could place the hands behind the thighs and enjoy the happy baby pose that way. Lengthen out a bit through the back of the neck. And if you like, you can start pulling on one foot and then the other. Allowing your baby to gently rock from side to side. A light massage across the back. And I will ask you from here to find your last pose before Shavasana, that is. If you would like, you can extend the legs, hold onto the feet or not. You could bring the knees into the chest or whatever else crosses your body's mind. Allowing 2 more breaths with your chosen pose. And then gently transitioning into your relaxation posture, Shavasana. 2 options here while your arms are out and away from the body, palms facing up. You can choose to have your feet on the floor to protect your back. You can pop a bolster underneath, or you can extend the legs out and let the toes roll open. Very similar to our starting position, the mountain. Only a different foot position to allow complete relaxation of the body. Noticing your breath once you've reached your comfort, once you might have cushioned yourself up. The softness of the breath, where you might still sense some gentle movement in your rib cage and in your belly. And as usual, if you like, you can stay with the ebb and flow of your breath. Or you can come to focus back on the lion. When lion comes to you, he comes with a call to awaken a power within that is your birthright. Not through struggle, forcefulness, or effort, but through the simple expression of your true self, ignited deep within. If you feel stuck or less than empowered, bring yourself into the open fields or quiet shores where you can be alone. Take time to reconnect with the truth of your inner fire and let yourself roar. Awaken the power lying dormant within. Feel it rise from the earth into your heart and body. You are great and noble. Do not shy away from your power, but allow yourself to breathe deeply and accept that you came here to fully express your gifts in the world. What is your heart calling you to do?
Lion is leadership and abundance. Lion is loyalty to the calling of your heart. Speak your truth. Embody your strength. Honor your gifts and the gifts of others within the balance of work and pleasure, solitude and togetherness. Be the lion you are. And you might repeat the following as your information for the day. I breathe into my center and awaken my power. Aligned with my tribe, I am the full expression of my unique purpose. Feeling your heart beating. Expanding into this space with each breath in from now. Allowing the softness to come when you breathe out. You might start to move or stretch a bit. Returning your physical body back into a seated pose when you're ready. Touching the hands together in front of the chest. The thumbs might be in light contact with the sternum. As we close the eyes, once more. Connecting from each own inner lion to the others as we bow. Namaste.